My goodness, you can really look rich for $15,000 or less by driving a really cool car around. Not a lot of people know, love, or get excited about depreciation. And you know why? Because they don't know how to take advantage of it. But car depreciation could very well serve and open doors for not just great financial opportunities, but also great connections and new friendships. I've owned over 150 cars in the last 8 years and used depreciation to my full advantage. In this video, I will share 10 best cars to buy right now that cost around $15,000 or less that not only will make you look rich and more important, but simply change your life forever. Now, before we get to this list of wonderful cars that are going to make you look rich for $15,000 or less, I want to disclose something very important. No, I'm not going to recommend something really obvious like BMW X5 or Audi A8 or even Mercedes S-Class. Not only these cars going to appear on cars that are going to make you look rich kind of list here on YouTube, but it's kind of obvious. Everyone knows about it. Even non-car people know that BMW 7 Series, for instance, or Mercedes S-Class depreciate like crazy. No, I'm not going to recommend these cars. Even though they make you look rich, it's just not interesting enough. It's boring. And secondly, to fully enjoy every car on this list that I'm about to share, just prepare about $500, maybe $600 aside every month owning these cars. Obviously, you want to find very well maintained, very well documented example of each car that I'm about to share on this list, but you never know. And if you prepare about $500-$600 a month and you put it aside for maintenance, that's going to give you peace of mind and you're going to enjoy it to the fullest. Now, let's get to the list. There's no specific order, it's just kind of random that I put these cars together, but the last 3 cars are going to be my top 3 that are going to make you look rich. And we're going to start with number 10, which is Mercedes CLS 550. Of course, you expected to have a Mercedes on this list, but specifically the 4-door coupe CLS is my favorite one. These have twin-turbo V8s with over 400 horsepower. They're incredibly luxurious. Obviously, they have the brand name going for it, and they look really, really great. You can find them for $15,000 or less pretty easily every day, all day. Next up is the Jaguar XJ sedan, specifically the 4th generation. Internally, they're known as X351. They were produced from 2010 through 2011, and they look much more modern than the previous XJ. They have 2 variations of engines, the V6 and the V8. They are incredibly luxurious, really good looking. The ideal version you want to go for is the 2014 or newer. They were more reliable than earlier model years because of the upgraded timing chain system. The biggest issue these have is the plastic cooling system pipes that need to be replaced regularly before they fail and cause warped heads or worse. You don't want to replace the engine because it's basically going to cost you the value of the car, so please do not gamble with these. Nowadays, they have the aftermarket metal replacement parts, so the rest of the car is pretty reliable. If you take care of that cooling system, they're actually going to be as reliable or even more reliable than its European counterparts like BMW or Mercedes. They are incredibly luxurious. They have all sorts of luxury features like massage seats, cooled seats, obviously, night vision, and so much more. And you can buy one for under $15,000 or even under $10,000 all day long. The next up is, number 8? Audi A7. The 1st generation A7 made from 2012 through 2018. I actually owned one of these, and these are incredibly beautiful. They are fun, they are practical, and you can buy one of these for pretty cheap. On the inside, they look great. They have some cool colors, exterior colors, interior colors. They come in 2 engine versions, the V6 supercharged, which is the gasoline powered engine, and the V6 TDI, which is the diesel, and that one is really fuel efficient. Like I said, these are incredibly gorgeous, and you can take advantage of the depreciation because you can buy these for $15,000 or less in really nice condition with pretty low miles. The next one is pretty obvious. No list that says cars are going to make you look rich can exist without this make, which is Maserati. But here's what's surprising. Almost every Maserati appears here for $15,000 or less, including Gran Turismo, Ghibli, and now Quattroporte. Ghibli and Quattroporte are going to be the latest models. It's just insane to me that Gran Turismo, specifically 2008, 2009, 2010, you can buy them now for around $15,000. How insane is that? And then accompanying that 2-door Maserati comes Ghibli and Quattroporte. Now, Ghibli is expected to be on this list for $15,000 or less, and Maserati created Ghibli to compete with like BMW 3 Series, Mercedes C-Class, but having Quattroporte Quattroporte on this list, the newest version, the 6th generation Quattroporte, is kind of surprising because Ghibli and Quattroporte now going for around the same value. Not good for Maserati, really good for us. So the Quattroporte would be 2014 model and newer. Yeah, it's not going to be that easy to find one for around $15,000, but they are getting there. And if you know how to negotiate, you'll definitely get one. And same with Gran Turismo. Having this car, the original cost around $150,000. That still looks like a brand new one that they just recently introduced for around $15,000. It's just so mind-boggling. But here you go. With the Maserati logo driving your car around, you're definitely gonna look rich, maybe a little bit obnoxious, but still rich. The next up is number 6, which is the Cadillac XLR. I specifically enjoy these because they kind of very subtle. They're still very cool, very presentable, but they're not yelling at your face. They're not screaming, I am the richest on the block. No, but they are very rare, fun, luxurious, and cool. They were released for 2003 model year, and it was brought by Cadillac back as a roadster. It was related to C6 Chevy Corvette, the 6th generation, and then these two models were built by GM in the same facility. But if the C6 Corvette was the sporty version of the sports car that GM was building, the XLR was this grand touring hardtop convertible. It is really classy looking, it is cool looking, just love these, and I cannot wait to buy one of these sometime soon. One thing that is not super appealing about the XLR that it came with a V8 Northstar engine instead of the LS V8s, which I wish never happened. But nonetheless, these are somewhat reliable, very cool for sure, and you can find an XLR for $15,000 or less really easy. Now for the next one, number 5, we're gonna go electric. The Tesla Model S, specifically earlier models from like 2012 through 2016. The coolest thing about this to take advantage of, since they were introduced in 2012, they still look the same. We're in the end of 2024, they still look the same. They never changed the design, which we can take advantage of. You can pick up one of these for so cheap, but you have to be really cautious. If you see one example from like earlier model, like 10 years ago, you definitely want to make sure they have more miles because it is not that good for electric vehicle to be sitting around. When it comes to gasoline cars, the low mileage examples are more appealing. With EVs, however, you want to buy one with the higher mileage if you're buying the older EV, because if the EVs were sitting for too long, the battery is actually degrading, and that means you're going to have to replace the battery, and that is no-go because the replacement of the battery in one of these is going to cost you more than the car is worth. And you definitely don't want to do that because you can find early Model S version for like under $15,000 for sure. Just make sure that they have higher miles, they haven't been sitting around, and preferably the head unit, the infotainment system was replaced and upgraded to a newer version. So if you want to look rich while charging your car but not refueling it for $15,000 or less, Model S is the way to go. And if you have a reliability concern with every car on this list, with the next one, you're going to have total peace of mind when it comes to reliability, because the number 4 is the Lexus LS 460. This is the most reliable car on this list, and you can choose between the pre-facelifted and then facelifted version, so up to your taste. But they made them from 2007 through 2017. Obviously, these are going to be incredibly luxurious, incredibly smooth. They're going to have massage seats, night vision, self-driving, all of the tech you want. And you can find these for like $5,000-$6,000 for pre-facelifted version with higher mileage, and like $15,000 or a little less will buy you a very nice facelifted version. This is such a no-brainer, and it's Lexus after all. Now we approached my top 3 favorite cars that are gonna make you look rich, and if you buy one of these, people are never gonna believe that these cost $15,000 or less. So we're gonna start with number 3 is the 2nd generation Porsche Cayenne. That's right. They started making them in 2011. So if you look for 2011 and newer, these actually look like 2023, 2024. Non-car people will never going to be able to tell a difference unless you put them all together, but there's going to be very slight differences. But nonetheless, these are Porsches. They obviously look great. They look like Porsches. They're really luxurious and nice and cool on the inside. They have all of the tech that you want from a Porsche. It's insane to me that for less than half what a new Honda Accord or Toyota Camry costs, you can buy a Porsche Cayenne. very modern looking with all of the tech. The tech on 10-year Cayenne probably going to be way better than Honda Accord or Toyota Camry offers you. But it's just insane that you can buy one for $15,000 or less. You can choose between V6, few V8s, or even diesel version. And Porsches are not known to be super unreliable, so there's going to be some kind of peace of mind to enjoy while you're looking super rich. And now the runner-up, my second favorite car that's gonna make you look rich is the F12 BMW 6 Series. They actually collectively called F12. The F12 specifically was the convertible version, F13 is the coupe, and F06 is the Grand Coupe. But let's start with being nerdy and enjoy the beauty and the presence of these 6 Series BMWs because they are incredibly beautiful. They are incredibly luxurious. They have some serious performance numbers as well. They made them from 2011 through 2018. They have the inline 6 twin turbocharged and then twin turbo V8 version as well. As I mentioned, the interior is a really nice place to spend time. I personally enjoy the design, the way they look, how aggressive and elegant they are at the same time. Yes, obviously it's BMW and reliability always going to be concerned, but brand new, these cars cost around $100,000 or more. Now you can pick them up for like 10, 12, maybe 15% of its original ticker price. That is incredible, no-brainer value deal. And having $500–600 aside for maintaining these cars, in my opinion, absolutely worth it. And it is super easy to find one for under $15,000 in any body style, whether it's convertible, coupe, or Grand Coupe. And the winner, my favorite car that's gonna make you look rich. If nothing blew your mind so far, this car gonna blow your mind because not a lot of people are even looking this way yet. And the winner is the 4th generation Range Rover, the L405 as it's known internally. They produced them from 2013 through 2021. And you know the biggest advantage of this, just like with Porsche Cayenne, it still looks like a brand new Range Rover that costs around $140,000, $150,000. Absolutely insane. This car is just so gorgeous. It is hard to describe. The words themselves sound unspeakably lame to talk about the beauty and the presence of this car. This is the epitome of luxury. Obviously expect the most smoothest ride, a great sitting position when you're sitting behind the wheel. There's not much to tell you about this car. It just speaks for itself. If you want to look really rich and drive in style, what's going to do that better than the Range Rover? And it's probably going to be really hard to find one for $15,000, but it is possible. And it is crazy. Now in the comment section, let me know what car did I miss that's gonna cost $15,000 or less and make you look really rich. And if you don't wanna spend $15,000, actually, if you wanna spend less than $5,000 and look rich, watch this video here.